Alright, I'm going to kind of put this in the first of the video even though I finished with the work I was doing. For the last 3 days, I've been working on replacing the passenger side CV axle in my wife's 2010 Kia Soul. You say, why 3 days did it take to do that? Could I have done it in 1 day? Possible. But you know, I'm 66, which doesn't sound like I'm real old to some people, but I've had quite a few major surgeries and things, and so let's just put it this way: I'm not 100% what I could be. But anyway, so over the 3 days, I've done this. It didn't make a difference. It took 3 days or a week. I wasn't going nowhere. Retired. Worked a little bit until so the first day, I took all the wheel and hub assembly stuff off. Second day, I finally got the CV axle out and the new one in to the transmission. And then today, I put all the wheel, hub assembly, everything, brakes back on, and tires back on, and got all that done. So. Anyway, watch the video. Hopefully it will help some people seeing what I went through and some of the tricks and things that I ended up doing, being able to do this. If this doesn't resolve the problem of the sound that we're hearing, then I will just replace the other side. And if that doesn't do it, then I'll replace bearings. I don't think it's a bearing, but you never know. So. Another thing I'm going to do on the car, not too long away from now, is I'm going to replace all the brakes and the rotors all over. Alright, first thing, sorry about the background noise. That's a fan. It's hot in here. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be changing the CV shaft on the passenger side of our 2010 Kia Soul. Unlike what they say on the other videos that you get out there of how to tell if the CV is bad, you hear clicking and all that stuff. There's no clicking with this one, but what there is you're driving down the road, you'll hear like a woo, 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 woo. Not exactly like that, and it varies with the speed. The minute you let off the gas, the sound goes away. So that told me there was definitely in something that was going under load when you had the engine pushing on it. When you went to a coast, it took it off the load and went out. So immediately that eliminated, in my mind, the wheel bearing. Checking under there, I found that there's a little bit of slop in the CV joint up where this shaft plugs into the transmission. So anyway, first thing you got to do, and there's hardly any videos on how to do this on the Kia Soul. There's a lot of videos on other cars, the Kia Sonoma, there's one on Sportage. Sportage is probably the closest to this. The Sonoma is totally different in the fact that it has a carrier bearing in between. This doesn't. It's just a long, on the passenger side, just a long shaft. The other thing that's a difference is, I've only saw one video that actually showed the correct nut in here. And can you give me my phone over there, Ben? Most of them show that you got a carter key in there to be able to take the nut loose. You really don't. It has an indent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring my phone on and record this with my phone on this part. Now let me get this over to video. Alright. Now, if you'll see in here, instead of a carter key, it's got this nut indented down, and so I've got to pull that indent out before I can put a wrench on it. Now why do I still have the wheel on and I'm not in there? Because I've got to break this nut free. So if I had this up on jack stands and the wheel off, then it would put load on the whole shaft back into the transmission. With it like this, if I go to break it free, it's not putting load on the shaft, it's just putting load on the wheel and part of the shaft in here. Also, if I was to decide that I need to use an impact driver on it, I would not want it to transmit that shock into the transmission. So if I was doing this with it jacked up and stuff, I would have to have my wife sit in the car with her foot on the brake to hold the brake caliper so that if I impacted this nut, it wouldn't transmit the shock into the transmission. You really don't want to do that. So I'm going to put a center punch in there and bend that up. This screwdriver almost fits, but not quite. So I've got to find it. I've got a center punch. I'm not going to be able to film this, but I want to put that center punch right in there and try to bring up that divot.
Yeah, and this is the first time you've done mechanic work on this, right?
Yeah.
And it's got 145,000 miles. So.
Alright, it looks like I probably got it good enough that I can get it on off there. So I've got to go get a breakover bar. I don't know what size this is. Something says 34, some says 22. I can't read it because it's rusted, but I know it fits. So that fits in there. And so I'm gonna try it with a breakover first and see if that will do it. And if not, I will have to get impact after. Okay, that was easy. All right, so there's the nut, got it off, get a new one with the shaft. So now what I'll do is I'm going to loosen, I'm not going to take them off, but I'm going to loosen the wheel nuts, and then I've got to jack this thing up and get it on jack stands. Okay, now I got it jacked up with jack stand under there. Taking the wheel off. Alright, so I got all the wheel lugs out. Go there, we'll pop the wheel off. Alright, so got that off. Let me take a look here. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make a hook where when I undo this caliper and take the whole caliper off, I can hang the brake up here, and so it's not on the hose. I'll undo this nut right here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. I'll take it with my phone. So it'll be this nut right here will release the brake cable loose, and then I'll be able to hang the caliper up. Then what we're going to do is there's 2 bolts here, and another thing I'm going to undo is I'm going to undo this cable right here. This is the cable that goes to the ABS sensor, and I don't want to strain it, so I'm going to undo the bolts. There's a bolt here and there's a bolt here. I'm going to undo those bolts so that the ABS, it's back here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's it right there. So I will take that loose. I don't want to strain it when I hang this up either. Then there's a bolt here, and there's another one down here that bolts this hub assembly onto the strut. And now I may have to take this loose so that I can turn it, because we've got to remember I'm up on jack stands on one side only. I guess I could go around to the other side and jack up the other side of the car, get the front wheels totally off the ground, and that way I could just turn the wheel. And I may do that. We'll see. So anyway, I'm going to take these loose, and we'll see what goes from there. Okay, what I did here, I didn't film it, but anyway, basically what I did, theoretically, unless there's a lot of rust in here, this should not really be hard pressed in there. It's like a 27 spline shaft fits in this up. So what I basically did, instead of beating on it real hard, is I just screwed the old nut back on, not all the way down, and I took the socket that I had and I put it over it, and I just tapped about this hard. And what he did is, let me get my cell phone camera over here. Hopefully you can see it's moved it back just a little bit. So it started to take it loose. So this is now loose in there. So I didn't have to beat it with a big sledgehammer, dent the nut. I've seen other people just beat the crud out of it. So I didn't really have to do that with this. I just tapped it with that socket on top of the nut, the old nut, and it moved it back. So when I take these other parts off, hopefully this will come right out here. Now if I had to take the rotor off, there's a felt screw here and a felt screw there. I would have to find I have one, but you know how that goes. Will you ever find it again? Impact screwdriver, the one you hit with a hammer, and have to break those loose if I needed to take this caliper off. Looking at the condition of the caliper, we got like 100, closing in on 150,000 miles on the car. You can see some wear down through here. So eventually I'll be replacing the calipers on here when probably down the road when I do the brakes, redo the brakes. The pads look okay in here. They still got some wear on them, but there is a ridge here, and so I'll probably be changing this as well down the road with this here. Like I said, well, I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, but originally we were thinking about maybe next year buying a fairly late model used Kia Sportage, just so we'd have a little bit more room in the car. But after thinking about it, right now we don't want to go. This car is totally paid off. We don't want to go into extra debt right now. And so it boils down to me being able to do stuff like this and work on it. And I'm getting old, and I've had all these surgeries, and I'm going to be having another one. So I'm going to buy a scissor lift jack. There's some that are Atlas and whatever else. Harbor Freight has one. I've looked at it in videos online. It looks as well built as the Atlas, and you can get it for a lot less. So I'll probably be buying one of those. That's cheaper than buying a car, and it will jack it up to where I can work on it and not have to kill myself squatting up and down on the floor. Anyway, take me a little break here, and then I'll get back to it. I broke loose both these bolts. There's one here and one down here that holds the hub onto the strut. And so now I've loosened this one all the way off, the nut's still on it. I'm fixing to loosen this one off. I used a breakover bar. This is 19 millimeter on the nut side, 17 on the other side of the bolt. So like I said, I'm going to just loosen these off. Now, the pollution just come right out of there. Now I've got to take the other one down there and bottom out. And what I always do, anytime you can do something like this, is I'm going to go ahead and put a screwdriver through that first hole, just in case. Because this bottom one has some tension on it. And so we're going to have to find if we can get that loose. So same thing, I'm going to put socket on top of the nut. And as you can see, the top is trying to come loose. Okay, got it loose. Using a screwdriver as a drift pin to drift it out of there. Okay, got the bottom one loose, put the nut on it. Take the top one out. Find the nut fit where I need it. So the big question now is, when I pull this out of here, am I going to be able to move this over enough to get this out of there? And there we go. Just had to condense it a little bit with this and that. It looks like I'm going to be able to get it out of there without having to undo the steering. Well, I don't know, maybe not. I'm going to have to undo this. I don't know if you can see this down here. I can't quite get it out of here. I don't have enough room. So what I'm going to end up doing is right here. This is what holds the hub onto the bottom ball joint of the swing arm. So I'm going to undo this, then I can pry in there and tap this out. That'll release the hub from the bottom deal, and I'll be able to swing this out of the way and get the shaft totally out of the hub. So that's what I'm going to do now. Figure out what size that is down in here. 14. That's 14 millimeter there. Let me see what it is on the other side. It's 14 on both sides. So, be back in a minute. Alright, now, I'll get these out of here. I went back in the hole, damn it. Picked it up and went back in. Hold on. Pull those out. Alright, I got it out of there. Was able to get this off. See under there. And that's the lower ball joint on the swing arm. This is the shaft. Yeah, I might have a little. It's tight this way. It's the one up there and there that's got some rock. If you rock it back and forth this way, it's a little bit of play in it. I'm probably going to go ahead and take this off here because it's going to be a little hard to get this back together with that on it. The other thing I did is I went ahead and took the sensor out for the anti-lock brace system, and I went ahead and hung it up here. It's just a 110mm bolt that bolts the bracket in right here, and then it looks through here and reads these grooves in this little reluctor wheel. So anyway, yeah, making progress.